Hello and welcome back to the final piece of action here in Veysonnaz. My name's Alan March. This is indeed the World Para-Alpine Skiing World Cup. We are on our final event of our trip to Veysonnaz here in Switzerland. The course is just about ready. There's been some alterations. We've lowered the start from where we were on the first day. After 2 days of cancelled racing, we managed to get the first run underway and completed fairly safely this morning. This afternoon it took a little bit of work. We were scheduled to start at 1 o'clock originally. It's been moved back. You can see the snow is still coming. It's been relentless, hasn't stopped all day. It's around about -4 now. There's not too much wind out there, although at times the snow looks rather sideways to me. Actually 55 gates on the course here this afternoon. 49 was how many there were in this morning's run. There's now 55 gates, with 51 of those being turning gates. You can see some of our forerunners coming down. Some of the Italian sit skiers. The women's VI event is what we've got coming up first. Daniel Umstead will go first, followed by Gallagher, Sana, Knight, Perrine, Ristal, Fitzpatrick and Farkasova. As you mentioned at the beginning of the programme, Farkasova has had a tremendous World Cup and be hard-pressed to predict against her having another good day here in Veysonnaz, although she has been guilty of failing to finish on a few occasions this season already. So the very talented Slovakian pair will be looking for that consistency. See, heavy snow. The wind has just picked up a little, which is now starting to blow some of the flags and advertising boardings around as well. Lots of the coaches, big thank you to them this afternoon. A lot of the coaches have been helping to get the course ready. They are some of those unsung heroes. Some of the athletes chatting away and just genuinely keeping themselves warm and busy. Mainly keeping themselves warm, it has to be said. Don't forget, we're off to Tignes in France next as part of this World Cup. We then head to the World Cup final in Kimberley in Canada in February. That competition starting around about the 8th of February. And then, of course, people's attention starts to turn to PyeongChang, and I'm sure it's in the minds of many of these athletes already. But for most, concentration on getting as much action as they can in the World Cup. So the Umsteads, as I said, would be first out of the start this afternoon. Donnell and husband Rob have a son called Brockton. Brockton's paying attention to the mum and dad duo, cheering them on. Medals in both 2010 and 2014 for the Umsteads. Picked up bronze and silvers at World Championship level as well, including a bronze in the Super G in the VI event last year in Televisio. These are the final two gates, and through the line comes Donnell. Nearly a accident at the end, but at 152.89, the American holds on. Welcome Kelly Gallagher to the run now. 32 years old. Kelly would guide Gary Smith. There's a big smile most of the time, does Kelly. The snow is just starting to let up a little. Certainly here at the top. Gallagher, Smith, into the final three gates they come. Across the line in 149.35, difference of 3.54 between Umstead and Gallagher. Eleanor and Chloe Sana, the Belgian sister act. Gallagher's time 3.54 seconds quicker, and that's stretched the lead she already had on Daniel Umstead, so we'll see how that propels Gallagher up the leaderboard. Sana to get 149.35, she does, 1.05 seconds inside of Gallagher's time. Second British athlete to go this afternoon. This is Millie Knight. Year-old is celebrated their 19th birthday whilst we've been here on this tour on the 15th. Knightley Wild sliding into these last three gates. 148.30 is well achievable. 5.30 seconds the difference. And she end this event where she celebrated her birthday with a medal. And she celebrate being on the podium. Well, we'll figure that out. Mr. Perrine, one of those that will have every intention of stopping that from happening. The Australian, 29 years old, aiming for that third visit to a Winter Games as she's inside Millie Knight's time by 2.18 seconds. 4 more to come then. Noemi Restau. The guide is Lucien Gechal. Oh, and it could be all over. It is for Restau. Getting off balance and tumbling. And that will mean that Perrine will finish in the top 3. It ends badly for Restau. Just getting off balance, unable to turn, and ends up lying on her back in the snow. And she won't be on the podium later. Menna Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick and a guy just being told to wait a second. So, bit of a delay before Jennifer Keogh and Menna Fitzpatrick get going. Still young, is Fitzpatrick, so learning to keep yourself composed when there's a delay is something that you've got to teach yourself very quickly. Get used to. But this one is not too long of a delay because they're already up and going. Needs a good clean run. Will we see Fitzpatrick start to pressure for Kasova over these next few World Cup dates? Interesting to see. Kasova's definitely had the better of the form than anyone else so far, but there's been some good performances from Perrine, from Fitzpatrick. 2 of the 3 Brit girls have been on podiums. Restau is a threat to all of them. Fitzpatrick going to be tight. Oh, just 1.14 seconds. So Menna Fitzpatrick top for now. Perrine guaranteed 3rd at least. Henrietta Farkasova and Natalia Subotova. And that's, nearly a very costly mistake. I'm not sure whether she's still within the course. She's going to carry on here. But a big sliper for Kasova. And there's an opportunity now for Menna Fitzpatrick. But Kasova has composed herself. And the 31-year-old now has got to race down and find a decent finish to this run. 1:39.68. She was good this morning. A mistake here this afternoon. And they're into the drop down. 1:39.68. Subotova is pushing her. Farkasova trying to follow instructions. Oh, still gets there. 0.9 the difference in the end. And despite the mistake, well, it's a celebratory reaction from Natalia Subotova. But that could have ended all so differently. It's podium again for these two, but it might have been the top. Well, those two have absolutely thrown themselves down the back end of that course after that early mistake, and Farkasova shows her brilliance. Fitzpatrick takes 2nd, and Melissa Perrine settles for 3rd. We talked about the consistency for Farkasova and the fact that she had made mistakes and DNF'd in a few of these events. And they're things she's got to iron out before she gets off to PyeongChang. It's all right being the best in the world when you get there. But if you're liable to a mistake, then it could cost you on the biggest stage of all. Imagine Menna Fitzpatrick waiting at the bottom of the mountain in PyeongChang. Probably be a huge screen showing all of the live runs. Imagine watching that mistake and thinking, oh my, is this my time? Well, he nearly was here. She'll have to settle for second as it is. Kasova looking back up the mountain with Subatova. Just, I'm sure, discussing what happened. Spectators watching on, as long as coaches. This is what the coaches are for large parts. Starting to wait for their athletes to make their way down. So the women's standing event. Now Melanie Schwartz of United States. Schwartz is number 21 from this morning. What sort of time can she come up with? Nearly 2-year-old, originally from Canada. Schwartz is bashing through some and skating around others, but 2:02.79. The American, based now in Aspen in Colorado. Nothing rocky about that at all. Now, Ami Hondo went 1:01.07 this morning. And, big surprise in this women's standing event for you. We're told that Marie Bochet is not running. So, surprise to us all. There'll be no Alana Ramsey, but we're told, in fact, Marie Bochet is running. It's Gohorosheva that may not be running. We'll keep you informed on that. So, bib number 23, Gohorosheva, and Maria Papulova look like they're not in this. Across the line goes Elena Chata. In fact, not across the line at all. It's a fall here for Marimon, who had barely got out of the gates. Number 16, so that's Ursula Marimon. So this is Erin Latimer of Canada. Latimer crosses the line very much in front. 5.93 seconds the difference. 1:53.42. So Smazova up next. Again, Petra, always with the distinctive pink helmet. Oh, and she's struggled. Got to get inside that blue gate. And she's managed to go right between the two of those, the blue and the red, and that is out for Smazova, who's had a good smattering of high finishes, ranging between podium and around about 10th is pretty much the lowest she's gone. But out she goes here. This is Molly Jepsen. Jepsen to the line. And Canada have a 1-2 for now. Molly Jepsen leads for Erin Latimer. This should be Anna Maria Rida. Just 17, been very impressive in her performances. Bronze in the slalom at the World Championships last year. And to the line, she's going to take the lead. 3.10, the difference between Anna Maria Rida and a third of our Canadians to try and affect the podium standings. This is Alana Ramsey. Four more to come after Ramsey. If she can get herself towards the top, she'll be praying for some mishaps or poor performances or just holding the strength towards the end with the right leg. Finding it difficult coming to the bottom, but she does lead. So it's Ramsey, Rida, Jepsen. This is Jochumsen. Can the Dutch athlete force herself onto the podium? No, it's slow from Ramsey. 1:49.62. Jochumsen obviously had some problems early in the run that we didn't catch because that was fairly slow. Oh, Rothfuss. Just Stephanie Jallant and Marie Bochet to come. Rothfuss guarantees a podium if she gets inside 1:45.77, which she does with ease. 1.23 the difference. So the standings are Germany, Canada, Germany, with the USA and France to come. Stephanie Jallant, great performance this morning. 21-year-old single leg skier from Harding. Two bronze medals in Sochi for Jallant. Two DNFs in the slalom and giant slalom. So how she would love to finish this job. 1:44.23.31 the difference. Jallant leads. Only one standing athlete can now stop Stephanie Jallant. It just happens to be the lady that has only failed once to win a standing event on this World Cup circuit so far. Dominant. Wondrous performance from Bochet again. 2.85 the difference. Well, I hope PyeongChang is ready, because this lady is ready for PyeongChang. Marie Bochet takes it from Stephanie Jallen, and Andrea Rothfuss is in third. So it's another successful World Cup for Marie Bochet. The women's sitting event coming up. Potentially a surprise in this one. Claudia Loesch been in top form. The Canadians are happy. But, Annalena Forster went 48.93. Loesch went 49.79. They were the only two inside 50 seconds. Moroka, Ada Harksbiel, Victor, you fancy will fight it out for that third place finish. And Linda van Impelen down on 101.08. Had some difficulties early on in her run, but completed. Didn't crash out like that youngster in the background there. Smazova telling you she's all right. We start the women's sitting event then. Linda van Impelen. And van Impelen had problems in the first run, and as we join her live, she's had problems in the second, and that's race run for the 32-year-old from Elmst. Van Impelen is gone. Did we catch the incident? She's just gone wide here. Exceptionally wide. Just running off the course, and once you miss a gate, you're out. The great Stephanie Victor. 48 years old now. Husband and coach Marcel Kornen. A pair of them live in Park City. It's southeast of Salt Lake City, North Utah. Plenty of skiing places around there. You got Iron Mountain, Bald Eagle Mountain, Bald Mountain. Plenty of mountains. And, lots of chance to get out and practice. Here they are on the circuit, away from the country she used to represent, where she lives, now competing in the country she represents, the birth country of her husband. Stephanie Victor has had some podium finishes. She's had some bad races as well, as she'll openly admit. Not a great visit to Katai, but and then she crashed out on day one, but spoke to Marcel and they were happy with the way she was skiing. So it wasn't necessarily about crashing out, it was the way she was attacking the gates and getting as low down between those gates as she could in the turns in the giant slalom. Here in the slalom, 154.40. The helmets they wear for the slalom events often impede you being able to tell the enjoyment or satisfaction of the run for these athletes, as the front face grille kind of stops you from really seeing the emotion they're showing. But don't think Stephanie Victor was all that happy. Ruth Haxbiel, Germany. Axbiel moving through the bottom section. Final women's event is the sitting event. Axbiel straightens up and she's inside Stephanie Victor's time. 1:51.54 altogether. Oh, and out goes Heikki Eder. So Axbiel now needs just one more mistake from Muraoka, Loesch and Forster, and she will find herself on the podium. So Heikki Eder has gone. Muraoka. Again, on this circuit, we've seen put in some really good performances. We've also seen her crash out a couple of times as well. She goes past the point where Heikki Eder struggled. You can see Eder at the top of the screen there, watching on. Could have just got a little slow through there. The 20-year-old keeps on going. Looking to reach her second Winter Games. The mindset here is just on finishing inside the top three in this Women's Sitting World Cup event in Veysonnaz. It's pretty quick from Muraoka. As you come down to this final drop, you've really got to throw yourself into those turns. Good run, 1:45.72, some 5 seconds the gap. Now we're not used to this lady coming out on the second run and not going last. Claudia Loesch going past compatriot Heikki Eder there, trying to chase down on that leading time from Muraoka, 1:45.72. Loesch knows she needs to put in a good performance to put the pressure onto Annalena Forster. Just got herself a little slow, has Loesch. A few long, lengthy slides, but she will be inside. 1:43.32. Could that have been quicker, is the question. '22-year-old Annalena Forster, the lady from Freiburg. Named Lenny. Annalena was born without her right leg and missing bones in her left leg. 2 silvers and a bronze in Sochi. Can Annalena Forster find the sort of form she needs going into PyeongChang? And despite the awkward finish, she hangs on in there. 1:38.30. It's not just a victory, it's sensational. Well, Annalena Forster has come through the line in a brilliant time and will take victory in this slalom event here on day 4 in Veysonnaz. And shred, it says at the side of their helmets over there. Shred indeed is what Annalena Forster did. It's Forster from Loesch and Muraoka. Very impressive from Germany's Annalena Forster. Well, this is some of the action from Forster's run. We'll be moving into the men's event in just a few moments' time. We'll, of course, start off with the men's VI event, the vision impaired classification. Giacomo Bertagnoli leads the way. Marco Santacana Mestegui, Morgenfurt, Kevin Burton as well. All in the mix. Here is Mizdrak. Interesting this morning, Miroslav Haraeus and Jakub Krakow were quickest down the course. Both have been disqualified from this morning's run. So that's why Bertagnoli is last to go as the fastest entry into this final. So Damir Mizdrak went 54.04 earlier. Again, Mizdrak, his performances in this World Cup all about getting better. He's fairly new to the sport. He and his guide Luka Debeljak, Zagreb based, and coming towards the line, Mizdrak pulls off a time of 1:50.39. Mark Batten. Batum heads down. And 50.39 is well within Mark's reach. 7 seconds the difference between Batum and Mizdrak this afternoon. Now, our one and only B1 classified athlete, so this is a chance for us to watch Marek Kubacka in action. Maria Zatovicova is the guide with the speaker on the back, and remember Marek's goggles are completely blacked out. He was the winner on day one in the giant slalom. He had a tremendous time in Slovenia, winning both days of VI competition there. Struggled a little bit this morning. There was a laugh and a giggle between the two of them at the end. Clearly something on the course had tickled them, but as the snow has indeed stopped here in Veysonnaz, the wind is picking up a little, but certainly visibility for all athletes has improved considerably from this morning. No more additional snow on top of the course means that the latter athletes are getting a bit more of a path made for them. And through towards the line, 1:40.39. And again, well, these two certainly do enjoy being a part of the sport, and again, a fair amount of laughter. Matches Krezel went 49.10 in the morning run. 26 years of age, from Katowice in Poland. Taught by his father how to ski, so he's been comfortable on the slopes for many years. So close to medaling in the slalom and the super combined in Sochi, both 5th place finishers. I am sure he will go to PyeongChang as Poland's representative in the VI event. I'm sure he will get close again. Can he find himself on the podium? That's what Anna Olgozinska is there to help him do. You see the distance between the two of them here. And again, I talk about this quite a lot. Some of them are fairly close to each other. The others just quite happy to be a good distance apart. Early difficulty for Kevin Burton, it would seem. Now closed up with Brandon Ashby. Burton and Ashby looking to get somewhere near the current leader. As they come to the line, just outside, Krezel continues to lead, 138.98. Gurno Morenvoort, 52-year-old in the debut World Cup season and fairly high in the World Cup standings for slalom events so far. Started his journey in Qatar, his home country. And, pretty much an ever-present since then. .52 seconds in front. So Morenvoort with 3 to go. If there's a slip-up, he gets on the podium. This is Jon Santacana Mestegui. Spaniard with Miguel Garcés. Chasing down on Gurno Morenvoort. 136.16. Final few gates. Yes, 135.83 for the experienced Spaniard. So it's another podium for Mestegui at least. Mac Marcoux has been used to standing at the top of podiums most of the time. The first day of this competition on Monday was a bit of a surprise for him. Takana's time. Oh, big fall! Marcoux! Oh, do you know what? He's crossed the line. Well, forward roll across the line. If that wins this competition, that might be the best finish you ever see in a skiing competition anywhere. What a way to finish. Check it out here as he comes back into his right side. Up he goes, and his left leg forces him into a roly-poly and across the line. There was a big shout of yoo-hoo at the bottom of the hill. Potentially a winning forward roll. I don't even know if that's in the rule book. Bertagnoli. Can he stop Mac Marcoux? And his gymnastics he can. 129.69. Well, he'll be head over heels. More so than Marcoux. It's Bertagnoli for victory. Well, what a brilliant way to finish the men's VI event. Mac Marcoux thrown into the air, front roll over the line, 131.88. But Giacomo Bertagnoli would not be beaten, 129.69. Well, this is Bertagnoli making his way through the course. No such dramas, it would appear, for him on his way to a VI victory here in the last day in Veysonnaz. We'd love to see your messages on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to leave us your comments and do follow at Alpine for all of the exclusive content. I'm pretty sure Mac Marcoux will make it into the highlights reel just for the forward roll. Men's standing event up next. And, just in the middle of that page there is James Stanton. He is the man with the lead time. Braden Luscombe will go after him, but would need to come up with something near over 4 seconds to get close. So we do have around about 13 or 14 to come after Jamie Stanton, but it's the ones that come before Jamie Stanton that he'll be worried about, and especially the man just before him, Alexei Bugayev. He's a tremendously quick athlete. Thomas Field has had some good performances. Santui Kiviri, by the way, that second run he did, we saw him start. He was the first athlete to go, bib number 45. We saw him stop, and we wondered why. There was a man on the course, nothing intended. He was trying to put some repairs back, miscommunication, and Kiviri was told to go, but there was still a guy there. So that prevented him from running. He was allowed to go again. Santini said that, you know, I was still angry. I probably could have gone even quicker. Well, he's in the mix. He's really close, just over a second behind. So he's got every chance of still coming up with something good. Jordan Brossan, the first of our men's standing athletes to go. Brossan looking good at the moment. The 24-year-old comes into the final stages, clatters that last blue pole, and crosses the line in 1:37.24. A wave and a smile to the camera. Robin Kusch. A couple of shaky moments in his first run, did Robin Kusch. Again, just getting a little off through that section, but he's regained his composure and he's managed to put himself through the finish line some 1.31 seconds quicker than Brossan. He's happy with that one. Nephew of the great Didier. Kusch trying to make a name for himself in his own right. Across the line goes Kurt Schornstein. This is Aaron Lindstrom. Oh, and Lindstrom sliding out. Well, hands on the head moment for Aaron Lindstrom. And the Swede has gone. Oh, he'll be disappointed with that. He really will. And again, just trying to get back into his right side to lean into that next gate. And from underneath him go the skis. And out goes Alan Lindstrom, Michael Brugger. Switzerland. Number 68. Brugger. Experienced campaigner. 35-year-old. 3 Winter Games to his name, including a silver in the giant slalom in 98 and a second place finish in the downhill in 2010. Well, Brugge goes to the front. This is Alexander Alyabayev, bib number 57 from the morning, 46.24. He went earlier. We're 9 away from this morning's leader, Jamie Stanton. Alyabayev to put pressure on and try and get in front of Michael Brugge, 1:35.78, very much so as well, 3.16 seconds the difference. Well, there wasn't a great deal separating people this morning, but some of these guys are going a lot quicker this afternoon, it would appear. James Whitley. '20-year-old from Eastbourne, named in that Paralympics GB team already, and I'm sure that achievement alone pleases him, but that won't. Well, didn't get back inside the gate, straddled one, knew he wasn't going to get anywhere and just had to ride out until he could safely stop on the side. And James Whitley will be disappointed with that one. Just there. Clatters the bottom of the blue gate. Throws him a little bit into the air and just can't gather himself after that. Thomas Grocha. 24-year-old from Klagenfurt crosses the line. 1:33.70. It's outside of Alyabayev's time. I tell you now, Alyabayev's time is very good. Martin Wirtz. '24-year-old from Maysel. Coming up to a 1:20. Just batting away the post with both left and right arm. Unable to use a pole in the left hand. 1:32.62. And it's 1:32.14. Martin Wirtz goes to the top of the leaderboard. Gawley, Walsh, Keevery, Field, Bugayev and Stanton to come. This is Mitchell Walsh. Mitchell Gawley, sorry. I'm combining him and Thomas Walsh together. That would be quick. A pair of those absolutely flying. And the Australian Paralympic Winter Games team captain, joint team captain. He was at great lengths to say yesterday when we interviewed him. He's rather honoured and humbled, he said, to be named the captain. 1:32.14. He's inside. 1:31.74. It's Gawley. You might have heard him shout, "Not enough" there. I caught that on the camera at the bottom's microphone. So he doesn't think it's enough. Thomas Walsh. Can he do enough? Not only to get past Gawley, but then to hold on for 4 more. It's a tough ask. It really is. 22-year-old from Vail in Colorado. Moving through, 1:31.74. Oh, it got a bit iffy towards the bottom, 1:32.22. He's not top. He may well have straddled that penultimate gate as well. Well, yeah, you said not good enough, Mitchell Gawley, but you're still there. Thomas Walsh doesn't go to the top of the podium. 4 to come. Keevery. Watch out if there's anyone on the course. That's exactly what happened to him this morning. Somebody just wandering across doing some maintenance, not realising that Keevery had started. He still came in with a 45.46. He was furious at the end of the first attempted run. 1:31.74, 1:32.44. Well, it's all right. Mitchell Gawley shouting not good enough. He's going to finish 4th at worst. Keeverly drops down a position from this morning. Thomas Field, 45.37. 31-year-old. Wife Evelyn, sure will be watching on. He only returned in 2017 from a big injury. He's chasing 131.74. He will do it, 0.4. Thomas Field will finish on the podium. It's Gawley hung on in there a bit longer than maybe he thought. Field will get a podium place. Here's the World Cup leader, Alexei Bugayev, one of our neutral para-athletes. Into the bottom section, 131.34, 130.54, 0.8, 0.8 of a second for Bugayev, and the pressure is now on Jamie Stanton. What has the American got for a second run? The 23-year-old from Rochester Hills, the Michigan man, heading down. Wall Street worker when he's not on the slopes. Can he find a 130.54 here in Veysonnaz? He can. 129.86. It's victory for James Stanton. 129 is all he needs to know, because that was inside the time from Bugayev. Brilliant from Jamie Stanton. Now Braden Luscombe of Canada. 25-year-old from Duncan. Originally keen cyclist as well. Luscombe going to finish his day with a combined time of 136.45. That's a better time in his second run for Luscombe. He was some 4 odd seconds back in the first run. He's only stretched that by 2. Oh, Jonty O'Callaghan having some problems here. Got himself in a little bit of a mess, but he's collected himself and continued. 129.86. That's the benchmark time. We don't expect the athletes from here to really pressure those times. These athletes are somewhere in the region of 4+ seconds back from Jamie Stanton's first run. Callahan will cross the line in 138.71. Marcus Salkin out. He'll cross the line in 138.03, 8.17 seconds back. That's not his best performance of the World Cup so far. He knows it. Little shake of the head from Salka. Johan Ernst is bib number 69. The 34-year-old comes towards the line, 139.39. Man who's worked as part of the fire brigade, the mountain rescue, Red Cross humanitarian organisation as well, so he's a man that loves to help others, and here he's improving his own skills on the mountain. Divide Bendotti. The finish there for Bendotti. This is Andorra's Roger Davy. Oh, Davy tumbles. Well, Davy is out of the competition. Had a rather spectacular fall in Skagora. He's had another here in Veysonnaz as well. So, Kohi Takahashi. Takahashi pushing on from this morning's performance. 50.99 for Takahashi. So Takahashi heading into the final section. This is number 72. Belongs to Gakuta Koike. And across the line, 12.35 seconds is the difference. Andreas Kurtz is next in our standing event. Jamie Stanton winning the event with a super second run. And plenty of people shouting on from the side. And a wave from Andreas Kurtz. Well, if ever anybody asks you if skiers can hear the crowd, the rest of the skiers cheering on Andreas Kurtz. And, well, that was proof. Yes, they can hear everything. A wave. That's the first time I've seen that one this season. Just a little acknowledgement from Kurtz to those athletes at the bottom of the mountain. Jesper Balkan skiing through the pain of that right side injury. It's getting worked on. His dream is to get to PyeongChang. Oh, and disappointment for Jesper Balkan here. His dream is to get to PyeongChang. His nightmare was trying to get out of Veysonnaz. Just turning into his right side here. He looks fine going into the left. Oh, he just gets his right ski the wrong side of that right gate, that red gate. And out goes Balkan. It dragged him back and down, and well, he wouldn't have been able to continue anyway. This is Jack Peters. Peters comes through on 59.48. Slides down. That's enough for the day for him. He's having a little rest. So James Stanton, Alexei Bagayev and Thomas feel it is the 1-2-3. We heard Mitch Corley shout, not good enough. He was close, wasn't he? Came in 4th position in the end. But well done to James Stanton, Jamie Stanton as he's known. It's victory for him in the men's standing event. Let's take a look back at some of his run. Well, the American powering his way to victory here in Veysonnaz. Stanton just pointing to the top of the mountain and saying that's where I've come from. And now we're here, as the song says. George Kreiter will get us going in the men's sitting event. This is another one that will be over before the last runners come down. But Frédéric Francois topped the standings after run number 1. And it was a great run. Quite unsuspected as well, because on Monday, Francois was a little off the pace. Taiki Mori was doing what he did on Monday as well. He led. And Jesper Pedersen signs himself down in 5th position, which is a big surprise. And the snow is coming again. Not a surprise. So we'll start with Germany's George Kreiter. "32-year-old. Comes from Wolfstraussen. Wolfstraussen. Was inspired watching the Turin Games in 2006 and reached his own Paralympics in 2014. Just a cautious run so far. You see sometimes they slide out just a little bit too much to try and slow themselves, and it slows them too much, and that's the difference maker between the also-rans and the absolutely phenomenal sit skiers. We're missing Tyler Walker again today. Not sure if that's still ill effects of his run in Kranjska Gora, which came to a flying halt. He's had some big tumbles in his career as Tyler Walker. He didn't run on day 1, and here on day 4 he's running again, so best wishes to him. Hopefully getting back on the circuit sometime soon, and I'm sure just with PyeongChang around the corner, it's just the thought process of, do I really need to? Special mention to Murat Peli, by the way, a broken arm. Oh, just talk about Marcus Gratterhofer for a second. Gratterhofer has caught those gate posts and gone over, and that's the end of Marcus Gratterhofer of Austria. Yeah, Murat Peli, by the way, broke his arm in the training session on the second day in Kranjska Gora. So hopefully you're watching, Murat. Hello to you. And, get well soon. I've never had a broken arm, so I don't know how long it takes. He was in good spirits last time I saw him as we left Slovenia, so I'm sure he's watching on from somewhere. Oh, and another fall. Well, making hard work are the opening skiers here. 48.82 this morning for Kenji Natsume, and he won't add to that. Neither did Ratterhofer. I think that's around about the same place. Oh, just getting his right arm and his outrigger all caught up in those gates. And that's the end of Kenji Natsume for the day. Christoph Kunz. "35-year-old from Zweisimmen. A son and a daughter, Elio and Livia. Livia is about 3 years old now, so I'm not sure she has any idea what I'm saying. But, hello if you are watching, and Christoph, or Daddy, is in the lead. Thomas Nolte, who is also guilty of providing us with one of the more spectacular exits from a course. He cartwheeled over the side of the safety netting in Kutai. Oh, and he's so close to sliding out. Same place as Natsume just a few moments ago. And that might be a gate that changes the complexion of the leaderboard a little bit later on. It certainly slowed Nolte down. He's missed out on first position. Christoph Kunz continues to lead. This is Andrew Kirker. This guy was full of confidence this morning. Absolutely believed he was in contention for this, and then had a little mishap towards the bottom of the course. He's got through the area that Natsume struggled with. Into the bottom section then. Kirker chasing down 136, really throwing himself into the bottom section. He's took 2.5 seconds, if not more, on that. 2.81 the difference. Kirker's time, 1.3401. The US sit skier leads. Now, Dino Sokolovic, always capable of a decent run. 29-year-old from Zagreb. Another that absolutely uses his strength and frame to throw that monoski around. Had to get it fixed in Kutai. Ended up winning the last race in Austria. And he'll burst through the line here, 1:32.09. He's put another 2 seconds nearly onto the time. So Sokolovic leads. Niels de Langen. The snow starting to get heavier. Just in time for the final few runs of our competition. De Langen to try and displace Sokolovic. Just got pulled back slightly. Leave your arm too loose. Oh, he gets wide here, and Sokolovic will continue to lead. 1.73 outside for Niels de Langen. Johan Taboulet. Fantastic blue, white and red French flag themed artwork on the front of that monoski. Tremendously nice character off the mountain, but it's pure aggression and go for it from Taboulet whenever he gets on the course, and he goes. It just slips from underneath him. And Taboulet goes. Take a look here. Drops onto his left. Oh, he just gets into the air. And as he tries to make the left turn, The back of the ski is up off the ground, and because he shifts his body weight, there's only the front of that blade touching the snow, and that was never going to take him. Out goes Taboulet. And a shake of the head from the big Frenchman. Josh Elliott now. Certainly ending Veysonnaz with drama here in these men's events. Oh, Elliott! Real light. Keeps on going. You can see the snow coming down very thick at the bottom of the course now. Elliott maintaining his composure. Can't imagine the visibility is all that good for these guys. Into the bottom section, Elliott starts to come. Now the final drop down. 1:32.09. Can't get wide there. He's outside as well. Well, Sokolovic has put in a cracker here with just 6 to go. Here's the World Cup leader. This is the 18-year-old. And Pedersen had a few problems this morning. Just didn't get the sort of speed he usually does. And that's an angry Jesper Pedersen because he's out. The World Cup leader has gone. And Sokolovic hangs on to top spot. This is the replay. We joined him live as he was already out. This is what happened. Oh, he's just got caught up in one of the gates. And out goes the boy from Bergen. Drama. Now, this young man happens to be the world champion. He was furious when I caught up with him a little bit earlier. I said, hang on, you're fourth. He said, I got the tactics all wrong. He said, I went all wrong and still got fourth. Well, if he can get it right, where can he be then? He was watching his run back as I caught up with him. And he was just saying, I got it all wrong. Oh, he's big through the air there. He's held on as Kampstewart. And Sokolovic here will be licking his lips because since he went, the snow's got heavier and everybody has struggled. Kampstewart was 45.28 this morning, well over a second quicker than Sokolovic. Can he claw back the 1:32.09? Look at the strength this young man has got. Absolutely throwing that monoski into some of these turns. Here comes Bib 90. Here comes the world champion. Can the man from Lidador take 1:32.09? Yes, he can. 1:30.33. It's the new lead time. 3 to go. But that is a good run from Jeroen Kampstewart. Igor Sikorsky. Can the man from Poland find a performance good enough to get past the world champion, and he will guarantee himself a podium finish here in Veysonnaz. Oh, a little wide. Corrected it and got back on course neatly. Sikorsky into the drop. 1:30.33. Yes. 1:29.64. 0.69 the difference. He will finish on the podium. That's a fact. Taiki Mori. Brilliant on Monday. Struggled in his second run. Will he have the same problem here? Went 43.85. He had a couple of tenths lead on Sikorsky. Can he maintain that lead? Can he extend it? 129.64. It's a no. Mori has got a bad second run again. And Sikorsky stays top with just Frederic Francois to come, and a shake it ahead from Taiki Mori once again. It's his second run that does the damage for the Japanese sit skier. Francois was over half a second quicker than Igor Sikorsky. Has to use that to his advantage. Has to come down quickly. And if he can do just that and keep himself in front of Sikorsky, he takes this Veysonnaz title. 129.64. It'll be tight. Oh, 8/100ths of a second. Frederic Francois just displaces Igor Sikorsky. And Francois takes it 0.08. What a tremendous run from the Frenchman. This is Romain Rabel, bib number 89. He went 49.30 this morning. Well, Francois' second World Cup victory of the season. Rabel very wide as he starts his descent to the line. Big slides being put in there. 1:38.45 Romain Rabel's time. Simon Valner is scheduled up next. Valner went 49.75 this morning. Again, the visibility not so good in the latter stages of the second run. It cleared up somewhat earlier on in the start of our broadcast this afternoon. This is Valner, again fairly new to the circuit. This World Cup season all about gaining experience, and you just never know. Qualification to the games is one thing, but then wild cards, and through the line comes Valner. 10.93. Floris Meyer, the third of the Dutch athletes we have in this competition, and Meyer is 28. So, clattering the gates and making sure he's the right side of them. That's the most important thing. Got a little wide and a little slow through there. Oh, he's not enjoying the ride, I'm sure. The mountain is tackling him rather than him tackling the mountain, but that's part of the sport. Meyer will make it to the finish, it would appear. Oh, I nearly spoke too soon, and I'm not even sure he was the right side of the gate, but Floris Meyer clocked a time of 1:43.42. We'll worry about the wrong side of the gate later. Into the final 6 athletes of this competition here in Veysonnaz. This is Lee Chi-won. He was the man I was telling you about earlier who had that uncomfortable ending in Zagreb. Ended up with his right shoulder being taped up, taken to hospital for a scan, but nothing permanent, nothing they can't deal with, and he's back here racing in Veysonnaz. Towards the line he comes. 1:46.14 for Lee Chi-won. Bjorn Benke of Germany is a sigh of relief from Lee Chi-won. Ooh, he says. It should be Bjorn Benke. Seems to be a delay at the start. I'm not 100% sure what the delay's for. 5 athletes to come. I just wonder if there's now all of a sudden maybe a worry about the weather or the course. Certainly driving snow now. Visibility at the top of the mountain has got somewhat considerably worse. This is a delay which those athletes at the bottom being pelted with snow will probably not really be enjoying. All of these guys and girls taking a keen interest in what is the delay. Well, there are the used bibs. Some victorious, some have achieved what they've set out to achieve, whether that be a medal or just an improvement in their performances. Some of the skiers will have not quite achieved what they wanted from the day either. I think we're having some poles replaced, or at least some adjustments being made. And we'll take a look back at some replays. This is Frédéric Francois in action. This is one of our course hands in action. The poles, as mentioned, being moved, and Francois is well, it's fist pumps all around. So one of the gates being replaced here. It's clearly been snapped off at the bottom. There have been a fair few of these gates absolutely smashed into. And, certainly it takes its toll. So again, apologies for the slight delay. We will rejoin the action, I think, as soon as this post is replaced. You can see the screw at the bottom. They've got a device they attach to the bottom of that gate post, and it just screws neatly into the hard surface at the bottom. There you go. Fighting the elements, fighting the post. Radio dangling down as well. Pretty much fighting everything. Again, we'll try and bring you these last 5 athletes in just a few moments' time. There's the gondola, still running. No, as I say, the snow that did stop. Definitely isn't now. It's possibly as heavy as he's been for the rest of the day. So, this is PyeongChang, number 83. Benke went 52.69 in his first run. 19-year-old, again another that's learning from the sport. Never competed at a Worlds or Paralympic Games. Fascinated by the freedom and the slopes, the proximity to nature and the adrenaline kick in the fast disciplines. There you go. If that's not a reason to get involved in the sport, not sure what is. He's indeed getting to know the outdoor elements today. Cold, windy and snowing. Benke moving down, as I say, just 19. He's actually competed at para-triathlon as well, and he'll cross the line 1:42.57 for PyeongChang. This is Danilo Rossi, Italian, 40 years old. Again, was part of the Italian team in Treviso for those home World Championships. And Danilo Rossi fighting his way to the bottom. And over the line, 1:50.06. Just 3 more athletes to go then on our journey through Veysonnaz, through this World Cup. And Mika Veysonnaz will not make it to the very end. So Veysonnaz goes out, and Enrique Plante of Argentina is scheduled to go next. Veysonnaz having some problems with his mono ski. Short delay before we get our next athlete. They're just chatting through. Seems okay. Just pausing here before we get Enrique Plante, or at least that's who we should have. The Argentine, the Korean Han Sang-min sat behind him, so we should have 2 more to come. Here comes Plante. The 35-year-old now living in Buenos Aires. He's got the sport as a 16-year-old, so some near 20 years having a go at this, and top guy as well. Involved in a car accident, age 12. Clever guy is Enrique Plante. He and his partner founded a company that produces a metallic complement that could be adapted to a wheelchair to transform it into a tricycle. It works with a pedal and chain system. So certainly knows about the technology involved in not only his own mono ski but also in other sports as well, such as hand cycling, tricycle. So Plante, well, he's happy. He crosses the line. Every day's a school day. And Sangmin, the final athlete to come down here in Veysonnaz. We very much hope you've enjoyed the coverage here. So Min went 107.31. He had some real trouble on the course in his first run. He's had a lot higher finishes in this World Cup so far when he's been competing. So he would have been disappointed with that first run. And Sangmin will cross the line inside 2 minutes. Yeah, he will. 158.91. Still a last place finished for him. But Han Sang-min a little bit better than the first run. Well, Frédéric Francois got in front of Igor Sikorsky by 0.08 of a second. Jeroen Kampstra has to settle for third again. Taiki Mori with another disastrous second run. And Jesper Pedersen isn't on the board for the first time this season. He DNF'd and he was furious. But it's delight for France's Frédéric Francois. And he'll be on the podium a little bit later on. So the rest of the athletes in the men's sitting competition, we've whizzed through those. And that's it. We have found an ending to our World Cup here in Veysonnaz. We've only been able to bring you 2 of 4 days here on the mountain. We apologise for that, but the weather was too bad to run on Tuesday and Wednesday. Everybody starts to pack away. Everybody starts to head towards Teen. PyeongChang gets closer and closer, but from here in Veysonnaz, goodbye.